In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your website, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $3 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls? Start saving thousands in interest and fees and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com. You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All right, this is Jesse, and I am again producing another fun and entertaining post-debate roundtable. And ding dong, the gang is all here. We are joined tonight by Dan Wright, Bill,
Hey.
Susan Swift, and of course Rick. Our very own Rick from America Off the Rails. Let's see, Dan Wright's on the Wright and Robinson show. Bill's just a regular fan and all-around great guest when we need him. And Susan Swift, thank you for joining us again. Amazing, and it was so last minute, and I apologize. Folks, I literally have to say about how amazing Susan is. I called her during the last half hour of the debate and said, "Hey, are you busy?"
Yes, I was listening to the debate, and I'm so glad I get to comment on it now, so I was happy to get your call.
Well, we are more than happy to have you. So, I am just trying to double check that everything is working properly here. So, and I'm sorry if you guys are going to hear a little bit of the chatter just like you heard last time we did this. It does happen a little bit, but we will get it all under control. All right, Rick, why don't you kick us off? Or Susan, to the guest. Your call, Rick.
Official guest, so let's let her go first.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought, I'll just give you the notes that I was taking and kind of writing down myself. It was very obvious to me that Tim Kaine was sent in as an attack dog and did his job relentlessly, regardless of the truth, the facts, or time restrictions. He had marching orders to make Pence defend Trump, and he was constantly interrupting. I wish I had thought to start counting the number of times Kaine interrupted, because that's all he seemed to do. He was doing it for effect, to throw Pence off. His focus was on Trump's taxes, since that's the soundbite du jour. I saw Pence as a statesman. He weathered very elegantly and patiently the constant Kaine Chihuahua dog attack, and also put up very politely with the twit moderator who was the debate aider and abetter. She seemed to be cutting off Pence a lot more than Kaine, and kind of seemed to almost be in coordination with Kaine, as I could tell. She did not seem to be doing a fair job. Not that we would expect that from the media. I thought, on balance, that Pence won the debate because he came across as kind and gentle and patient, but also able to finally stand up and say, oh, nonsense. It really, this is not what you're saying is not accurate. And he also gets the best zinger of the night award when he said to Kaine, that was beneath even you and Hillary, and that's pretty low. So I think Pence won this, and of the two, when I was looking, I just kept also thinking, gee, which person would you like to be sent out as an emissary? Because that's what the vice president has often done. He's sent to funerals. He's sent to go and stand with foreign dignitaries and heads of state. Which one would you like to be sent on behalf of America? Somebody who's more patient and kind and more statesmanlike, or would you like this? I mean, Kaine looks like, to me, he looks like the Chucky doll from the Bad movie with those wacky eyebrows and everything. And the way that he was going after Pence, it made me uncomfortable. And I thought, I wouldn't want him in a room of dignitaries ever. So I think Pence won this one pretty well, although I would have liked to have seen Pence land a few more, point body blows. But maybe it was more important that he come across as kind and gentle, since he truly is, and it exposed Kaine as the really kind of nasty, smarmy, smirky, attack chihuahua that he appeared to be.
So Kaine was kind of the killer chihuahua of the night? Is that what we're saying? Although he lost the killer?
That was my take.
Yip, 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 yip.
Yeah, no, I think Kaine did an awful lot of interrupting, and I don't think that looks good for him. But like we talked about a little bit before we went on the air, is that it turned out that, I mean, the way I saw it was that Kaine was constantly on the offense and Pence was constantly on the defense, and I think he had to be. But I think that was, whether it's good or bad for Kaine, I think that was his strategy from the beginning. I think he did what he wanted to do. I don't know that it gained him any points. To be honest with you, I don't think that the whole debate, like the last debate, really gained anybody anything.
I think it was really nice of them to ask Jack Nicholson to come back and, do his Joker impersonation again, like 35 years after the Michael Keaton Batman movie. That was pretty great. I mean, let's have a hand for Jack. I mean, he looks really great. Look, Tim Kaine's he's not a bright guy. He's just not. He's not a bright man. He's not a particularly interesting or spectacular politician. His Wikipedia page and his bio notes that most people think he's boring. I mean, he's not that. Wait,
his Wikipedia page seriously says most people think he's boring?
His contemporaries consider him to be boring and listless.
Oh, that's hilarious. Note, folks, for the record, for anybody who's new to KLRN Radio, I am not a political commentator. I cover international news. So you have to pardon me, but that's amazing.
So I think that Governor Pence, by contrast, looked like a party animal up there, because I mean, he was obvious. Look, I think Governor Pence obviously won the debate, but not by a whole lot, because he had to carry around Donald Trump most of the night, which is quite a load. But I can't really mention one thing of any substance that Governor Kaine said, or Senator Kaine, whatever you want to call him. I mean, he's had just another career politician. He's been in government for 50 years or something. I mean, I can't think of one remarkable thing that Governor Kaine said tonight that was interesting. Look, they both lied an awful lot. In fact, one of the things that struck me was Tim Kaine said that he said that the Clinton Foundation has higher honors and marks from organizations that review charities than the Red Cross does. And I mean, I just had to laugh out loud at that, because it was like, are you serious? Like, Even Wounded Warrior Project doesn't claim that. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, what are you guys, serious? Like, Red Cross, really? Come on. I mean, that's just ludicrous. So, I mean, there was a lot, that was the one thing that struck me, was that there was just so much lying going on back and forth. I mean, between Trump and between Kaine and Pence. And, I mean, Pence acts like he just met Donald Trump today, and, he's never seen him on TV before. And Kaine acts like he has no idea who Hillary Clinton is and, how many people she's, quote unquote, had murdered. Maybe he'll be next because he failed this one. I don't know. But one thing is for sure. One of those two men will succeed the senior citizen who first dies in office. So I say I would much rather be stuck with Governor Pence, because seems like the one who has a college degree among the two of them.
Well, I can at least say that I don't know how I feel really about the fact that he's Trump's running mate. I think if Trump
I feel
loses,
pretty great about it.
If Trump loses
the
election,
the president,
Pence's career is done. But I always liked Pence. I've always thought he was a really good governor. I would trust Pence to run the country more than I would trust Trump. That's for sure.
I mean, but Pence is going to be running the country anyway, right? Because that was the whole idea. They wanted to get a really strong executive with leadership ability, so that Trump could just go international golfing, and Trump, Pence can run the country in violation of the constitutional. So I mean, look, for better or worse, whether if you look up on that stage, there are four people. There's Hillary and Kaine, and there's Trump and Pence. I have a hell of a lot more faith in Pence than I do in Hillary or Kaine. I don't know about Trump. I'm not sure I would trust him as far as I could kick him, but Pence is obviously able to lie with some dexterity, so that's pretty good.
Okay, so now our national leader needs to be able to lie?
Yeah, that's the whole point.
I don't know what you're talking about, Pence lying. All I heard was Kaine lying. I mean, just
Pence lied the whole night.
Out of context. So I don't know what lies did Pence tell, because I didn't catch that.
Well, he said that Donald Trump didn't call Vladimir Putin a strong leader. He most certainly said that.
I think he was clarifying the context in which he said it, because that's what Kaine was specializing in, was taking things out of context and implying meanings that were not in the context at the time of the quote. So, I mean, if we're going to get down to parsing words of he said the word leader, that's very different from what did he mean when he said what he said. So, and that's actually a really common tactic that the Clintons have used successfully for, 30 or 40 years. They do this word parsing. Remember, I don't know what the definition of the word is. I mean, come on. So, if this was, he lied because he did say the word leader, come on, that's not.
You don't really believe that Donald Trump admires Vladimir Putin on some level?
Well, but that's what your point is you're saying as a leader. Yes, Putin is
Vladimir
a
Putin
strong
isn't a leader.
He is a strong leader for what he's doing. It's just that we don't like what he's doing. But Putin is a much stronger leader than Obama is. And that's the point.
Well, okay, as the person that covers the international news around here, folks, I'm going to stick my nose in. Yeah. Putin is an extremely strong leader. We may not like his
only
actions.
Because he murders the people that run against him.
Right, but that's the point. He's strong. He is strong. We don't like how he's leading, but he is a strong leader, and that was the entire point. That's the entire context of the comment. And it's not that. And what you're doing, kind of what Kaine was doing in the debate, which is to try to take a broad paintbrush and paint Pence as saying, or Trump as saying, you admire Putin. That we don't admire Putin. Trump doesn't admire him. He is simply stating he is a very effective leader. I mean, Stalin was a hell of a leader. He killed everybody. Yeah, he led through fear and intimidation. I can note that without admiring his tactics. I mean, for that matter, Planned Parenthood is a hell of an organization. It's highly effective at population control. That doesn't mean that I support what it does. And that's the only point that Pence was trying to make is that Kaine is mischaracterizing and putting words in the mouth of Trump, which Trump, yes, he said the word leader, but the meaning was clear, which is yes, he's a very strong leader. I don't admire him though. He didn't say, "Oh, I admire Putin," and I think you're catching me right at like this off the top of my head, but I believe Hillary has said more complimentary things about leaders. I know she admires, for instance, I know that she said very complimentary things about, say, Margaret Sanger, and she supports that kind of, agenda of Planned Parenthood. So that's the context in which that Pence was answering.
Okay, need I bring up the Russian reset that Hillary Clinton did that failed?
Yep.
I'm sure one of you has a comeback for that.
There's a lot of things Hillary Clinton's done that has failed. But, I honestly do believe, and I know what Susan's saying, but I honestly do believe that there's a part of Trump that does not just think that Putin is a great leader, but I really honestly believe that there's a part of him that does admire him. I just do. I guess listening to him talk and listening to what he has said, I do. I'm not going to sit here and say that he thinks he's the greatest guy in the world, but I think he has some admiration for him.
That's the beauty of America is that everyone gets the right to be wrong 5 minutes every day.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Trump shows plenty of authoritative, traits himself. An authoritarian likes an authoritarian. That's just my point of view on that.
All right, so I've been quiet for a bit because I'm trying to not open mic right as I have a really large thunderclap because suddenly we're storming where I am. My overall take on the debate, like it or lump it, because everybody knows I'm not the biggest Trump fan. I think Pence won the day. I think if Donald Trump actually could look nearly as sane as Pence did, the first debate probably would have been a little differently. And as far as Kaine and his orders from Hillary, I keep flashing back to the original Karate Kid with the guy at the dojo master yelling, "Sweep the leg," because that's exactly what those attacks reminded me of. That's just take him out.
No, I agree. I think Pence won the debate, and I think Pence won the debate because he came out of it looking like the better man in general. I think Kaine, like I said, I think Kaine did exactly what Kaine came in there to do, and it was to put Pence on the defensive. That seems to be the way to go with Trump, is to put Trump, or like I said, Pence, on the defensive. I don't think it worked out for Kaine because I think it made Kaine come off as kind of an a-hole, and it made Pence look like the better man. And that's why I think Pence won the debate. I don't think anybody really won the debate on substance.
I think you're absolutely right. I would second that Kaine had marching orders to go in and go on the attack, put Pence on the defense. Pence was on the defensive somewhat in the beginning and then pivoted and was able to counter that and came out winning the day through kind of polite persistence and hanging in there and explaining, and finally, did kind of step up near the, like, 3/4 of the way through, finally starting to say, nonsense, and that's not true. So he kind of rose to the challenge. But I think exactly what you said is how it went down.
Well, thank you.
Uh-oh, Dan's going to be
welcome.
Big
I
hit
think
for the
I think that Pence just won just by sheer virtue of the fact that Kaine is an idiot. I mean, Kaine obviously was not well prepared for this debate, period. I mean,
I thought
he played the Donald Trump role in this thing.
Yes, he would.
Just sat there and tried to interrupt him the whole time.
I really kept thinking through this whole thing. Oh, God forgive me, but I thought, wouldn't it be funny if we had a Trump-Kaine ticket? Heads exploding. Oh my gosh, because they're like the same person.
Yeah, because that's basically the role that like Kaine was playing tonight, right? Is like he was going to play Donald Trump, and he was going to go and try and get Pence's goat, and it didn't work because Pence is a nice little Midwestern kind of dude, and he's like all polite and crap, and so it didn't really work, and then like. God, oh my God, Kaine's answer to that abortion question was just so bizarre. And I mean, even as a Catholic, it was so weird to hear that crap come out of his mouth. And
now I've got to weigh on that. For a Catholic to say anything like that, it shows you that man is not Catholic. He's Catholic in name only.
That's like Nancy Pelosi.
That's crazy. That's crazy stuff. That's the entire Democrat Party has this whole thing that for them, the sacrifice of human life in the womb is their sacrament. That is their political sacrament. They have to have innocent blood on their altar every day, and they will defend it with their lives. And for a Catholic to defend the Democrat Party and to vote for any Democrat at this point in time is absolutely hypocritical. And they should all be excommunicated. And they actually are. They are, in fact, excommunicating themselves. They are not Catholic when you are voting for pro-abortion candidates like Hillary Clinton. And I've got to pray for Kaine because he's losing his soul over this, honestly.
Well, what's interesting is he was really heavily in favor of the Hyde Amendment, and then when he hitched his sail to Hillary, he decided that now suddenly he's not for the Hyde Amendment anymore, and it needs to be done away with. But I thought it was interesting that he wouldn't say that, though. Like and I think that was
because he's playing the Catholic card. They're both trying to, Hillary, and they're trying to get the religious vote, and one of the litmus tests is your position on life. They're trying to win the pro-life kind of the Catholic vote. And so he can't come out and say that, but it's true. He does not support the Hyde Amendment, which simply, and it's being violated all the time.
Although he did support the Hyde Amendment.
Abortion, and the Democrats have violated that repeatedly.
That's the point that I was trying to make, is that as governor of Virginia, he did support the Hyde Amendment. And so now he's changed his mind suddenly. But he won't say that.
He's always been very moderate on abortion. He always has been you he got the VP nod. He's always been very moderate on abortion.
That just shows you that politics with liberals and Democrats, politics always trumps religion. It is their religion. That is, political power is their religion, and a faith-based religion is simply a convenient way to secure power. That's what these people are doing. They are lying about what is truly their faith. Their faith is politics and the accumulation of power.
Well, this is just a weird. This is a weird election for people who vote based on religious lines to begin with, because I mean, on one hand you have Trump, who has 5 children with 3 different women, and then you have Clinton and Kaine, who God only knows what they're into. And, it's just such an odd place for people who vote just specifically along those lines to be in.
No, it's not that odd, because you know what? We have a whole country full of people who are trying to do the best they can. There's a lot of people who have, marriages that aren't ideal and who fail and who have broken families and things, but they still have a faith. We still, as America, hold up ideals which are hey, wouldn't it be best if it works this way? So it makes sense that we have, a divorced candidate, and it also makes sense that we have another candidate whose husband is routinely cheating on her. That's called being human. So we have human candidates. That's not a reflection of faith. It's a reflection of reality and the struggle that everyone goes through to try to reconcile, daily life and the hardship and the cross that we bear as humans trying to live our faith. It is very difficult. And so that, Trump's made he's made his different marriages. At least he's married. At least he still believes that there is a sacred union between a man and a wife. I don't like that he's divorced many, many times, but you know what? I don't think he killed any of his children by stuffing them into a sink either. There's kind of a difference there. And so, yeah, you're seeing candidates that reflect the reality of America and the reality that a lot of families have to struggle with, kids who are divorcing or kids who have different positions on marriage and family. And so you're seeing that reflected in candidates. That's pretty normal. I wouldn't say that this is unique for this election.
It absolutely is. We had 15 candidates on that stage that weren't like Trump.
All right, I'm going to poke my nose in here, guys. I am looking at Twitter trends. Mike Pence has 1.04 million tweets. Tim Kaine has 434,000. The Clinton Foundation has 80.6 thousand. Vladimir Putin has 22.3 thousand. So just thought you guys might find that interesting.
What does that mean?
That's just the number of times they've been mentioned in a tweet in the past, according to Twitter trends right off Twitter.
Well, and the higher the number could be good, but could be bad.
Right. I just thought I'd throw that in there for something, and I will also, while I am poking my nose in, let you guys know you have about 5 minutes until we are going to take a commercial break.
Okay, cool. So speaking of the trends on Twitter, I actually have been kind of perusing those myself. It looks like the majority of Mike Pence comments are actually favorable, so it does appear that he's getting a more positive review on social media than Tim Kaine. As a matter of fact, the ABC networkers, I like to call them All About Clinton, just basically threw Tim Kaine under the bus. Even they just fact-checked him and said that the statement that he made about Clinton helping to do away with the Iranian centrifuges, etc., was completely false. So if somebody like ABC throws the vice presidential candidate for the Democratic Party under the bus, they must have realized they caught him in a pretty big oops.
How about when he said that she was part of the team that devised the plan to kill Osama bin Laden? Wasn't that insane? Really?
You know what she was doing in that room? Remember with the picture of everybody watching that thing? You know what she was doing? She has her hand over her mouth. It's been reported
because
by
she just had a stroke.
She was coughing. She was sitting there having one of her cough attacks while Osama bin Laden was being taken out.
I actually heard that at the time that photo was taken, and this is from someone who was in that room. I cannot name names, because I promised them I wouldn't, that photo was snapped at the moment the helicopter crashed into the wall during the raid. And that's why her hand was over her mouth, but she did have a coughing fit prior. So she had a coughing fit in that room.
Through that whole thing. I mean, she's had an 8-year cough going for as long as we can document back 8 years. It's that was probably her contribution to the Osama bin Laden.
However, I can also say from other sources, because for those people who are not regular listeners to my show, I will remind you I am a Special Forces widow. I have deep and long ties to the United States Special Forces community. She was not in on the planning. She had the clearance and the ability to sit and watch it go down. She may have had some tangential knowledge that it was going to happen, but that was it. She was not in go, no-go authority position. That was that was Department of Defense and Commander-in-Chief role. She had no say in whether it happened. She may have been on some of the meetings where they were discussing the planning, but only as more of a spectator, and she may have piped up a little bit, but she was not one of the key planners, key architects. She did not have go, no-go authority. And I don't, no offense, I don't want her seeing have go, no-go authority.
I don't want to see any of them have go, no-go authority. Can we work that out?
Well, actually, let them drone Julian Assange first.
Well, yeah. Did you see that little thing that Hillary said about that? Remember, it's been leaked that she suggested that we drone, Assange, and somebody asked her about it, and she said, "I do not recall that joke. If it was said, it was meant as a joke." So now she's blaming her memory again that she didn't say it. Really?
I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them droning him. I don't understand why she doesn't want to admit it. I mean, it just seems odd that she doesn't want to admit that. I don't understand what the problem is with that for her.
I have a problem sticking drones on people who are information about you. I don't know. I would rather that you take them into custody, but I don't think it's wise to use drone forces to take somebody out who has not physically attacked, unless you've got real intel on the ground that an attack is imminent. I don't think you target a human being for leaking information, as bad as it is. I mean, I don't think it can be traitorous to go and leak information, but I don't think you use a drone to take that person out for leaking. That's kind of real creepy.
Okay, I'm going to step in here again, guys, and I'm going to ask you to hold your thoughts until after this commercial break.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
All right. Thank you all for hanging in there while we paid those bills. This is Jesse on KLRN Radio, and you are listening to our Vice Presidential Debate Roundtable. And just to remind you who all the players are, we've got Dan Wright of Wright and Robinson. We have Susan Swift, who is thankfully agreed to join us again. Woo! Thank you, Susan. Amazing last-minute guest. And we have at Defend Wall Street, a.k.a. Bill, who is another awesome guest. And, of course, Rick, host of America Off the Rails and co-host of Wright and Robinson. And I am Jesse from Jesse's POV. All right, let me make sure I got these guys back on board, because I'm sure they've got a lot to say. All right, guys. Susan had just made some comments right before we went to break. Or do we want to pick up with something new?
Well, I was talking about Julian Assange and why we should be able to drone him. And, you know, WikiLeaks has been publishing, you know, military documents since the Bush administration. And, you know, they published documents which Al-Qaeda's magazine then used to create roadside IEDs to destroy American troop carriers. So, I mean, I don't have an issue with droning Julian Assange at all. I mean, because he enables actual
people who. Well, let's drone all the people who've written about how to make turkey roaster bombs and any kind of bomb construction. I mean, that kind of information is all over the internet. I mean, the dissemination of
but
information.
This specific document that WikiLeaks leaked in 2006 enabled Al-Qaeda to know about a flaw in American troop carriers that made it easier for them to manufacture roadside IEDs. It was a flaw in the design.
I agree it's terrible. I agree that that's terrible, and we should capture him and put him away forever. But you know what? Bill Clinton sold our technology to China, but we're not talking about droning him.
Or what about droning Hillary Clinton for having classified information on an unsecure server and getting people killed over it?
Can I just vote that I'm fine with droning all three?
Drone Hillary because she leaked 33,000 emails and covered it up. I mean,
Hillary Clinton didn't leak 33,000 emails, though.
Pardon me?
Hillary Clinton didn't leak 33,000 emails.
She put them on an unsecured server in some guy's bathroom, and they've likely been hacked by the Chinese or the Russian or both. And she also sent. We already know what, over 200. She already sent them on unsecured lines and things and shared them unsecurely. That is a felony. I mean, she has broken the law, and yet, you know, we've got the FBI and the DOJ, and everybody's saying, "Oh no, we're not going to prosecute." So if we're going to compare, I think it's an apt comparison that Hillary Clinton is far worse than Julian Assange. He's put our country in as much danger as Assange does. But you don't go around talking about droning somebody for it. You capture them. You send in a team if you can and capture them. I have no problem doing that. And that's why Assange is living in some, Bolivian, closet for all we know. I mean, he's been up there for 5 years. That's why he's a persona non grata, because all of the governments in the world are going to extradite him back to here. But if we're going to drone Assange, then we can drone Hillary too. That's no. You just can't go sending unarmed, computerized, Skynet type things after people. You can't do that.
George Bush did it a lot.
Can I just say for the record, I would be fine. Can I just say for the record, I would be fine with droning either one of them? I'm just saying.
I would say, why couldn't we do both?
Sure.
Okay, I have a statistic I want to throw out here, and then I will back out and let you guys continue. I was doing some research on the State Department, and I found out that approximately 30% of all State Department employees that handle classified material, including the current and former Secretary of State, the most recent ones, thank you, did not get their classified information training, even though they handle the highest of classified material. In some cases, there is documented proof it was pencil whipped. And another 40 to 50% also had their information classified, their classified material training pencil whipped, and or just did not do it, even though they have clearances and have access to sensitive information. And as someone who has been married to someone with a clearance for longer than I'm going to admit on air, thank you very much, because my former husband had a clearance, my current husband has a clearance, I know what that training is like. Not that I know the details of it, but I've seen what's out there on the training for contractors and things that are publicly available. And I'm sorry, that training is crucial. Now, and as far as I'm concerned, anybody who is officially given a clearance needs to complete that training, period, end of sentence, or be denied access to classified information, no matter their title, no matter their role.
I 100% agree with you, Jesse.
One term that you kept using, you mentioned the term pencil whipped. I'm assuming that means that they just signed off on it and weren't actually paying attention.
Bingo!
Okay, just checking.
Okay, and here's my take. Hillary broke the law. Anybody that did what she did broke the law. But what she did out of laziness and carelessness. Assange did what he did and does what he does because he enjoys screwing with us.
Wait a minute. What if Hillary's doing this for profit and power? That's a much worse. I mean, you could say Assange, and I don't like defending Assange. I really don't, because I don't like what he did, and I think what he did is traitorous. I can't stand it. But for you to imply a motive to Hillary when you don't know, and to Assange when you don't know, it's going beyond the question. We don't know why she did what she did. I think it's to cover up the fact that Obama, using a pseudonym, was part of those email conversations. He knew at the time. And there's 33,000 emails that say something was going on. Was the State Department running guns to Syria? I mean, this is a question that's been out there. So she might have been breaking the law for her own political gain and possibly for financial gain, since she has international contributors to the Clinton Foundation. That's the whole point of the inquiry about these emails is, could it be the smoking gun that proves the connection that's been alleged in Peter Schweizer's book, Clinton Cash, that the Clintons have been soliciting foreign money and giving access pay to play. And then doing things like shipping goods to Syria, et cetera, doing things to kind of pay off these donors, these heavy hitter donors. That's the whole email scandal. So you don't know why you're assuming she's a dumb blonde. You're letting her play the blonde card. Oh, I didn't know. I had multiple phones. Oh, I didn't know. I mean, like she's some, I know she's old, and I know she's.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it was complete laziness and carelessness. I'm not saying.
Maybe she is lazy, but that's excusing a much more nefarious and politically profitable motive that we are still trying to get to the bottom of. So I wouldn't give her a pass on the blonde card and call her lazy and she didn't know any better.
I'd like to point out that Julian Assange is also blonde.
Yeah, well, yeah, he is too. But you know what?
I mean, I'm not giving Hillary a pass.
Much more noble,
I'm not giving Hillary a pass
about what the governments are doing.
No, Julian Assange is a Russian stooge. It's not noble at all.
I agree. But my point is, let's stick to the facts that they broke the law. Let's not excuse it based on their want. That's a Democrat thing, is to say, well, I meant well, I had good intentions. No.
Well, no, and that's why I prefaced my statement by saying she broke the law. I mean, she broke the law. She should be in jail. I mean, I have friends in the military. I had when I was in D.C. I didn't have top secret, but I had classified clearances, and I paid attention to what I was told. I paid attention to what I was supposed to pay attention to, and then I signed the paperwork I was supposed to sign, and I did what I was supposed to do. I get that. That makes me mad. I have plenty of friends in the military who will tell you straight up, if they did anything even remotely resembling what Hillary Clinton did, they would be in prison right now. I get that. She should be in prison.
Governor Kaine disputes.
Yeah, he's
totally in denial about that fact.
Okay, a Marine tried to use the quote Hillary Clinton defense, or it was either a Marine or a sailor, I forget which, but a member of the United States Armed Forces, so I don't have to worry about branch here, actually tried to use the Hillary Clinton defense, and all they did was snap a couple of photos of a classified area when there was no classified information visible to show their family where they worked, and they went to jail.
Yep. No,
that's
Hillary
like
Clinton should be in jail.
Not to get completely off topic, but a few years back, right after the vice presidential debates, when one current vice president now gave someone the advice to go buy a shotgun and shoot off warning shots, someone actually took the advice of the vice president and had charges pressed against them by their town constabulary for firing off warning shots in city limits, which in that town was a felony. So yeah, there's always that thing of you got to be careful what advice you give when you're a public figure, because if somebody takes that advice, you may or may not be on the hook later. Just saying.
Absolutely.
So that's why I got sued for telling people to drink bleach on Twitter.
Probably.
Okay, never mind.
That's okay. I was again told tonight that I just need to go die. So, Twitter's a wonderful cesspool.
That's happened to me like 3 times this week. I'm just like, whatever, dude. One of them was my wife, though, so I'm thinking I should probably take that one a little more seriously. But who knows?
No, I was told I should go die, and then 2 tweets later, the guy told me that I should go find a high bridge to jump off of, which is pretty much the same thing, I think. I love it.
So
it's such a cesspool.
What do you think the media spin is going to be tomorrow on the debate? Now that we've watched, I mean, that moderator Elaine was almost worthless in controlling Kaine's mouth. I think she was helping him. So what do you think the media spin's going to be tomorrow morning on this whole debate?
I thought it was interesting
MSNBC and CNN are going to say that Kaine won, and Fox News is going to say that Pence won.
Basically what he just said.
And those of us in the middle.
But you were making a point about this moderator, because I thought this moderator was uniquely one-sided.
Oh, I thought the moderator was a joke, except for the one time when Pence was trying to talk about his abortion stance, and Kaine tried to interrupt, and the moderator was like, "Shh, this is important." Let him finish. I have no explanation for that.
maybe she was hoping that Pence would, I guess they might. I don't know, but I think a lot of people in the media believe that abortion is such a fundamental, universal right that you allow a conservative to oppose it and they'll shoot themselves in the foot. That's the general consensus, and I don't think that they realize just how many millions of Americans oppose abortion and are wanting someone to stand up and say that it's morally reprehensible, and they think it's a winning issue for them when a conservative opposes it. So that maybe that's why, or maybe she was actually just being polite and actually finally doing her job, because I don't think she did much of anything other than to encourage Kaine. I was watching on NBC. I don't know if you guys were seeing the same vantage points, camera angles, but there were two instances during the debate. I don't remember when it and the camera was only on Kaine and Pence in the split screen, so I couldn't see exactly who Kaine was kind of looking at, but he had eyes locked on somebody, and I think it was the moderator, and he was kind of nodding and kind of like agreeing as though they had some sort of shared signal or understanding. And I found that disconcerting to me. I thought, well, is she, what's that about? Why are they, maybe she was just giving him a little more time to speak. Maybe she was motioning to him off camera, which I could not see. But it looked like I had this feeling that they were coordinated in their interrupting attacks on Pence. Did anyone else get that sense? Am I just, more biased?
No, I think she's just an idiot. I think, moderators for these types of things are just always really awful, no matter who they are. Look, the way that you can clear this up is you body mic them, and then when it's not their turn, you cut the mic off. That's all. That's the easiest way to do it. Because otherwise they're going to sit and talk over each other all damn night, and that's what you got in the first 20 minutes of this thing, was, they're just shouting over each other, both of them, and she's just
it was mostly It was mostly
just bring in music like the Academy Awards. As soon as they start going over, you just start playing the music.
Yep. Yeah, they were I don't know,
Well, the downside to playing music at a debate where they're sitting is I'm afraid they'd probably start trying to play musical chairs.
That would be fun. That would be more fun to watch than this. That would have been fun if they'd all hop up and have to switch chairs. That would have been cute. I've said this before. I think that the age of the debate moderator, the journalist debate moderator, should come to an end, because they are so clearly one-sided. I think what we need to do is impanel lawyers for both parties on both sides, so that the Trump campaign would hire a lawyer or two, and the Hillary campaign would hire a lawyer or two. And there's 4 lawyers or 2 lawyers, however, but each balanced for each side. And lawyers basically ask the questions and do the follow-up back and forth like a deposition, because you might actually get some more facts, and you would actually pin some of these people down. This moderator, Susie Lipgloss moderators who are just up there and just keep asking these pablum questions of one side, and I'm sick of them. They're not doing anybody any good. They're not serving the public, which is ostensibly what they're supposed to be doing. They just are serving their own egos and obviously the media bosses or their political bosses. So I think it's time that we interject professionals like trained debate attorneys into this, so that we have it much more, at least a better fighting chance of pinning these politicians down. What do you guys think of that idea?
Well, that sounds good. Or we just go the total opposite and we find a Chuck Barris and we just do a gong show.
Oh, that's a good one.
How about mud wrestling? Wouldn't that be fun?
No, they would not use attorneys, but on one condition. Trump would not be able to use Michael Cohen. Terrible on TV. No good. Couldn't use him. He would just provide sound bites for hours.
What I'd like to say is that if they go the lawyer route, I'd like to see 2 debates with the lawyers, and the third one, a town hall style debate. Although we haven't yet seen one of those, I just think that way the people in the audience at least have a chance to ask the questions they want. And you'll need a body to, keep order on that. And that could be a journalist, the warm body handing off the microphone.
Well, actually, isn't Sunday's debate supposed to be like a town hall?
Yes. The next
questions. I would love that. But we'd have to have like a panel behind the two candidates and hold up a score like at the Olympics as to whether or not they answered the question. That between 1 and 5, was that an answer or not an answer? No, it wasn't. Because at these town halls, some 20-year-old will come up and say, well, do you support the war in Iran? Or just a open-ended question there. And then the skillful politicians will dance around it. They won't get a yes or no. And they kind of abuse the audience that way. But I love the idea of town hall and then get like a panel up there just saying, yeah, no, they didn't answer that. No, didn't do it.
When is the next presidential debate? It's the 9th, right?
Sunday night.
Yeah. Yes, it is October 9th.
Oh,
and
my God.
I'd like to invite you all back for another roundtable.
Only if they're drinks.
I don't know. We might actually supply this next one. We might need them. This whole idea of how we change the debates, for some reason I keep flashing back to a show my wife watches over the summer called America's Got Talent with the 4 judges and the X's. I'm thinking maybe that might work. When you get 4 X's, you get off the stage. Just saying.
Yeah, just we could have a sound effect there, and they could buzz everybody when it's a stupid answer. Kind of like, don't they vote in by tweeters and twits and things? They vote in on like America's Got Talent or on the Dancing with the Stars, and we could decide which who gets to answer and things. I mean, because it's just listening to these things, you just want to scream right through the TV.
All right, so are we out of substance? Are we about out of substance and conversation on this, or do we want to get back on track, or just keep running down rabbit trails, guys?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's really not too much left to talk about. I think, the bad thing is, it's really, like I said at the beginning, this didn't really do anything for the American people except for point out issues where both vice presidential candidates have blind spots. I think the attacks that Kaine had of trying to put Pence on the defensive, they fell flat because the crowd and the folks watching were seeing what he was trying to do, and he kind of painted himself into a corner. I think sadly he was following the advice of Hillary Clinton, who was basically telling him that they had to get those two to basically separate themselves from one another. They were trying to get Pence to they were trying to put a wedge between Trump and Pence, and I think they failed. And I think all they did was, as Susan pointed out in the beginning of the conversation, they made Kaine look like the rabbit attacked Chihuahua, and it just didn't go over well. I'm watching tweets from Frank Luntz, who does a lot of the focus group stuff, and he's talking about all the different things that didn't sit well, and his interruptions were one of the things that had the focus group the most annoyed, because anytime they felt like Pence was going to say something useful, that's when Kaine started trying to back it up to something else that Trump had said or something else that Trump had did. This would have been the one night they could have left that stuff alone and actually talked about things that were important. But who knows? I mean, they didn't really talk about very many things of substance on the first debate either. I doubt they're going to do anything of substance on the second debate. Well, some of us will be here Sunday night to talk about it. So,
What do you think that Trump should do in the second debate? I mean, I've talked about him as being Casey at the bat, that he debate. Is he going to be Casey at the bat the second debate? Can he learn from Pence? I think he should study what Pence did and copy and emulate Pence in many, many different ways, and then have his own personality. He needs to be much better prepared for the debates because Hillary's going to be relentless and ruthless. So what does Trump need to do in the debates? I mean, I think he should connect with the American people by looking in the camera and being sincere, and then having specific points of his that he can go to, and then having absolutely cited facts tying Hillary to the economy, to Benghazi, to the emails, to the way she treats women, all of those things. I think he's got to get better prepared, and he's got to start, swinging and interrupting if he has to. Maybe should he start adopting the Tim Kaine style, since that's kind to him. I don't know if he can emulate Pence as the quiet statesman. What do you guys think?
I think he should tag Pence in and have Pence do the debate for him. I think that would be the best strategy.
I think that's against the
don't
rules.
Even show up. Just let Pence do it for him.
I think that's against the rules, but I'll put it this way.
You never know until you try.
Well, Hillary, yeah, you know what? Hillary's got a body double. Why can't Trump have a debate double? Huh?
Yeah, I mean, it has the virtue of never having been tried.
And I will say there's been a lot of things in this election cycle that people said could never happen that have happened.
And this could be one of them.
Yep. No,
hey, a little bit of hair dye,
I guess be a fighter.
and some
I don't know.
spray tan.
I wanted desperately
Pence
for
might
Trump
pass.
to stand up about 3/4 of the way through that, take off his mic, and tell these people off and say, you know what? I can't even get 4 words in edgewise. You guys keep double tagging team interrupting me, and I'm sick of it. My takeaway on this whole debate, I tweeted it out. It's called Debatus Interruptus. That's my whole take on this thing.
All right.
Yeah, no.
Sum it up. Hey, Dan, I think you were trying to say something, but you're coming in kind of muffled on my end. I don't know if everybody else can hear you. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I cut someone off. I'm sorry.
I've got Dan loud and clear for the record. What I'd like to do for anybody who's listening, yes, I realize it is almost time for another commercial break, but as we are all about done, we're going to push through the commercial break and take a late one. Just bear with us a few more minutes. Dan, it is your turn.
No, I'm just saying the whole interrupting thing. That's my whole problem with these debates, and that was Kane's thing tonight. And I think it would be a huge mistake for Trump to take that tact. Like you said, I mean, God, if it was happening to him on Sunday night.